Welcome to Top 7 TV. Today we are going to see the top 7 most dangerous viruses in the world. In 7th place we have the C virus. The virus went into action on April 26, 1999, and knocked out tens of millions of computers. CIH virus is also known as Chernobyl virus, because it was scheduled to infect Microsoft Windows system files on April 26th of each year, on the anniversary of the Chernobyl disaster. The spread of this virus was also detected in the demo version of a video game, attachments of computer magazines, some CD-ROMs sold, and even in the PCs just sold. The virus had been specially developed for Windows 95, later on, compatible with all versions at that time, Windows 98 and Windows ME. South Korean government reports claim that the Chernobyl virus caused $250 million damage, infecting 250,000 computers. The virus was created by Chen Hao. 60 million computers were believed to be infected by the virus internationally, resulting in an estimated $1 billion in commercial damages. In 6th place, we have SQL Slammer. This is a 2003 computer worm that caused a denial of service on some internet hosts and dramatically slowed down general internet traffic. It spread rapidly, infecting most of its 75,000 victims within 10 minutes. The program exploited a buffer overflow bug in Microsoft's SQL Server and Desktop Engine database products. Although a patch had been released 6 months earlier, many organizations had not yet applied it. The creation of this worm appears to be the work of a group of Chinese crackers. SQL Slammer, unlike old worms, does not damage files and programs but actually renders the network unusable considering the very fast pace with which it manages to replicate itself, about 8,000 copies in an hour. In fact, its very high ability to self-replicate ends up slowing down the network by putting computers out of play due to an excess of attack attempts. SQL Slammer caused an estimated $750 million in damages in 2003 and affected 200,000 computers worldwide. In 5th place, Melissa. On March 26, 1999, a virus began to spread, created by a certain David Lee Smith, which infected more than 1 million systems. Melissa caused direct damage, estimated at over $80 million, and blocked, even for several days, the operation of the mail servers of over 300 large companies and entities government. Melissa arrives in an attachment to an email note with the subject line, "Important message from," the name of someone, and body text that reads, "Here is the document you asked for. Don't show anyone else." The attachment is often named list.doc. If the recipient clicks on, or otherwise opens the attachment, the infecting file is read to computer storage. The file itself contains a list of passwords for various websites that require memberships. The file also contains a Visual Basic script that copies the virus-infected file into the template file used by Word for custom settings and default macros. You definitely do not want to meet Melissa. In 4th place, a virus called I Love You. It is a computer worm that infected over 10 million Windows personal computers. When it started spreading as an email message with the subject line, "I love you," and the attachment titled, "Love Letter for You." The worm originated in the Pandacan neighborhood of Manila in the Philippines. On May 5, 2000, moving first to Hong Kong, then to Europe, and finally the United States. The outbreak was later estimated to have caused from $5.5 to $8.7 billion in damages worldwide, and estimated to cost $15 billion to remove the wormworld's most destructive computer-related disasters ever. The truth is that his idea was brilliant as well as perverse. The virus spread so quickly because everyone liked the idea of receiving an anonymous love letter. The famous love letter was the product of the disgust of a disgruntled student with his faculty, the revenge of Onel, because they rejected his thesis. Clerks, stockbrokers, politicians, firemen, or journalists, people here and there, opened the message of the supposed admirer or secret lover, who began his letter proclaiming his love. In third place, Code Red. Code Red was a computer worm observed on the internet on July 15, 2001. It was the first large-scale, mixed-thread attack to successfully target enterprise networks. The Code Red worm was first discovered and researched by EI Digital Security employees Mark Mayford and Ryan Perm when it exploited a vulnerability discovered by Riley Hessel. They named it Code Red because Code Red Mountain Dew was what they were drinking at the time. Although the worm had been released on July 13, the largest group of infected computers was seen on July 19, 2001. On this day, the number of infected hosts reached 359,000. It caused over $2 billion in damages in 2001 and had the ability to break into computer networks and exploit weaknesses in Microsoft software. Once the virus infected the machine, it actively looked for other machines on the networks to attack. The virus was blocked by Kenneth D. Eichmann, who was invited to the White House following his venture. In second place, Conficker. Conficker virus, also known as DownAdUp and Keto, is a computer worm targeting the Microsoft Windows operating system that was first detected in November 2008. It uses flaws in Windows OS software and dictionary attacks on administrator passwords to propagate while forming a botnet, and has been unusually difficult to counter because of its combined use of many advanced malware techniques. The Conficker worm infected millions of computers, including government, business and home computers, in over 190 countries, making it the largest known computer worm infection since the 2003 Welkia. Estimates of the number of infected computers were difficult because the virus changed its propagation and update strategy from version to version. In January 2009, the estimated number of infected computers ranged from almost 9 million to 15 million. At that time, the Cybersecure Institute claimed that the economic loss due to the Conficker worm could have been as high as $9.1 billion. Despite its wide propagation, the worm did not do much damage, perhaps because its authors, believed to have been Ukrainian criminals, did not dare use it because of the attention it drew. In first place, of the top 7 most dangerous computer viruses, MyDoom. MyDoom is a computer worm affecting Microsoft Windows. It was first cited on January 26, 2004. MyDoom appears to have been commissioned by email spammers so as to send junk email through infected computers. The worm contains the following text message: Andy, I'm just doing my job, nothing personal, sorry, leading many to believe that the worm's creator was paid. Early on, several security firms expressed their belief that the worm originated from a programmer in Russia. The actual author of the worm is still unknown. MyDoom is primarily transmitted via email, appearing as a transmission error, with subject lines including "Error, Mail Delivery System, Test," or "Mail Transaction Failed," in different languages, including English and French. The mail contains an attachment that, if executed, resends the worm to email addresses found in local files, such as a user's address book. It also copies itself to the shared folder of peer-to-peer file sharing application Kasa, in an attempt to spread that way. MyDoom is the most devastating computer virus to date, which caused more than $38 billion in damage. Thank you! Thank you to have been with me. Don't forget to subscribe to the Top 7 TV YouTube channel. Love you all!